What's up, geeks? It's Ryan Zip with the GeekZip podcast. I wanted to give you a brief message before we got into this week's episode. As we upgrade our show and try to provide more video effects and more graphics, there's going to be occasional times when we may have some technical difficulties. This week, unfortunately, we had one of those with my video feed that appears to be the only thing that was affected. So, in its place will be just a still image of my pretty face. Christian still has his live video, but we have corrected the problem so it won't happen again, and hopefully it won't, impede your enjoyment of the episode. So, just wanted to give you that heads up. Thank you for your continued support, and enjoy.
Oh, I was listening to reggae, dude, because I got my reggae working.
Finally. Did you get the songs you bought that you own, supposedly?
That's right.
All right. Good man.
Made the drive a little easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it was almost catastrophic.
Rainy the whole way back.
Boy, it has been rainy. And it's weird. It's like it'll clear up and you think it's going to be sunny and then it'll start raining again. It's like the perfect storm, which I purchased over the week, by the way. Love that movie. I think.
That's the one in the water on the boat.
Yeah, that's easily. And I told Kush this. That's easily George Clooney's greatest performance, and I will fight anybody.
I kind of thought you were talking about Hard Rain for a second. That's completely different.
That's completely different. Even though that wasn't bad, that gets a lot of hate, but I mean, the concept was goofy as fuck. I mean, it's like, that ain't gonna happen, I'm trying to remember what happened, like the dam overfloods.
I just thought it rained a lot. I don't know.
Well, I think it continuously rains throughout the film. Morgan Freeman was in that fucking movie.
Yeah, it was like a con.
Randy Quaid, wasn't he the sheriff? Yeah, he's like a nice guy con that's wanting the money.
It's nowhere near as good as Perfect Storm.
No, it's on a completely different level. You're right, absolutely. It's the GeekZip podcast. Ryan Zip coming in via the Zip Cave. Christian is coming at us from Lewis Manor. Tell him why, Christian.
Watching the dogs. Family went to the beach, and
dogs can't be on their own for any amount of time.
One of my dogs is on his last legs, dude. I mean, he can't even walk.
Yeah.
So we may have to add him to the RIP section next week.
Jesus.
Don't laugh at that.
Well, you're laughing.
Well, he's a good dog.
Which one?
Trig.
Oh, we love Trig. Trig has a special place in our heart because you actually got him when we were roommates back in college.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love Trig. Also, want to give a huge shout out to Brooke Z. She had her tonsils taken out last week. Oh. And yeah, she was a trooper, man. I tell you, a real Wonder Woman, and she's healing like Wolverine. It's weird. She's like up and around.
I'd give her some ice cream, but I put too much stuff in the freezer last night and everything melted.
What?
I said I'd give her some ice cream for her sore throat. Usually people have ice cream.
Yeah.
But I put too much stuff in the freezer last night. I went to Kroger.
Yeah.
And stocked up for this week.
Right.
But the freezer was
home alone.
The freezer was full of junk, dude, so it got overloaded, and I guess if you put too much stuff in the freezer, it doesn't work right, and everything melted.
What, are you kidding me?
No, dude.
You actually put too much food in the freezer to freeze. Why didn't you take the other shit out? Is it junk that can be thrown out?
No, it's just all weird stuff that I'm not going to eat.
God.
I thought there was room. I didn't check. It was my bad. I should have checked.
Don't you have like a deep freeze too?
That's what I'm talking about. They're both full.
The deep freeze is okay. Gotcha. I thought you meant like the freezer part of your refrigerator.
Well,
that's a serious problem, bro. You may have
to. It was extra full because they had ice packs there because they were taking food on the trip. Which I don't understand because I'm like, why don't you just buy food when you're there?
Yeah, I mean, we always hit the store when we get to our destination. It makes no sense.
I've told my dad that he's loaded up for bear like they're going on the Oregon Trail. They measure their food in pounds.
Hopefully they don't get syphilis and die, or whatever the fuck. Not syphilis.
Hook up the oxen, cross the river.
Oh, that game was so fun. That's like, in my opinion, that's like the earliest version of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, if they added some multiplayer.
Yeah, dude. Be like, you could be in the wagon.
You could run into other players and they just kill you and take your stuff.
Well, that's kind of what happens now with
exactly.
Online RPGs is you get raided. Speaking of which, I finally got my mount, Christian, in Diablo. Finally got it.
Nice. My brother Trevor still hasn't, he says.
Really? It's a long, dragging process. Shout out to Wes for helping me defeat Elias. I think that's his name. Whoever that second to last boss is.
It's hard. It's hard keeping track of all those.
I mean, there's so many bosses that to remember all the names is impossible. So now I'm kind of just going around. I think I'm going to go around and do the dungeons now. That's kind of where you started, right? You started with dungeons and side quests.
Yeah. I beat the campaign.
Did you beat it? How many acts are there?
I think there's like 6, maybe.
Okay, I'm on like 4.5, so I'm close. I think I'm level 42, 43 maybe.
I think I might be about to hit 52.
Nice.
But it changes when you hit 50.
That's what Wes was telling me. Yeah, you start losing. You don't get skill points anymore.
Exactly.
Which is total horse shit. I don't understand why you can't just continue to level up your character. That's kind of dumb. When he told me that, I was kind of like, ugh.
Well, you do. It's just you don't have skill points anymore, so you kind of get if you run into trouble, you go on the internet and say, "What are my skills supposed to be?"
That's what he also said. He said the mod sites are starting to pop up to where you can.
Well, I mean, it's just not really. It's just
mod
telling you
your
what
druid to like its highest level, depending on what situation you're running into, or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think they call it like min-maxing.
So yeah, something like that. They did the same thing for Diablo 2, and there were online stuff. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We welcome you as always. We do have a lot to get into. First, we want to always encourage you to help promote the show. You can do so by logging on to our website. That is podomatic.com, podomatic.com. /GeekZip podcast. As you can see, we are now producing a high quality video segment when Christian comes over. When he doesn't come over, we have to use his shitty Zoom footage.
This is how we started, though, man. This is how we.
There's no excuse. Anyway,
School.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're echoey. Turn it down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so yes, make sure you watch the YouTube stream, subscribe, ring the bell, and we always encourage, because it is funnier watching the video feed, in my opinion. I did both over the past 2 weeks, just to kind of gauge. And I will always do the podcast, of course, but the video feed's pretty cool to look through and actually.
Well, I just have an easier time with YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's go over the show. Don't forget Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and become a Patreon member with exclusive content.
We got another subscriber, dude.
Did we?
Yeah, for last time
I haven't checked. I'll have to go and look. $1 sale going through. We'll do it through the end of July. I'm in a good mood.
I think my dad's almost ready to sign up. He liked that one where you were talking about fixing your language.
Yeah.
I'm
sincere. I'm sincere. I really am, because I want his business. But anyway, yeah. So subscribe online, Patreon. You can find that link through our Podomatic site as well. All right. I don't have any RIPs this week, Christian. Did you hear of any that were of significance to our peeps?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a quiet week in terms of passings. Obviously, people did pass, but there was no indication that it was anybody of comic book geek or nerd influence. How's that?
Well, you could consider the flash bombing kind of.
See, I knew you'd start right in on me with this shit, and that's why I put it first and foremost on the discussion.
Well, it's definitely disgusting.
I have never had so many goddamn phone calls and texts in my life regarding this movie. It's
I mean,
insane.
it still sounds like
it's
a good
like I'm
movie.
Gene
It sounds
Siskel.
Like everybody's gonna like it.
It's like I'm Gene Siskel. It's crazy. Everybody, what? Tell me what? I'm like, listen to the show. You gotta listen to the show. You gotta listen to the show. I'm not gonna give you myself for free, people.
Some people told me that we needed to put a timestamp link so you could skip the spoilers.
Interesting. I didn't even know you could.
You kind of put it.
Yeah.
You put it in like the description of the video.
I like that. Okay. Yeah, we'll work on that. We're always trying to get better. Yeah. You know, I don't know it all, Christian. I don't know it all. I try, but I don't.
I'm just giving you the feedback, dude.
All right.
You still drinking water over there?
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of Cokes heading to your house.
Yeah, we still stock up on the Coke because I can't quite get over drinking water for the meals. I can't quite get there yet.
I need to try to switch.
I mean, but as far as like day-to-day drinking activity, I've pretty much completely switched to water, and you can definitely tell a difference. So you thank Kush for that one. She's the one who influences me on that.
All right, so let's get into
thirsty. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's talk about The Flash. So, as probably most of you know, over the past week, the Flash film starring Ezra Miller, Michael Keaton, Sasha Calle, Ben Affleck, so on and so forth, has received numerous horrible reviews. They're not even mixed. You know,
I don't know. I thought
I haven't seen any. Very few good ones, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring it back up today.
Well, maybe not from the critics per se, but I've seen a lot of like fans in the comments.
That's what I'm talking about.
Saying they liked it.
Right. I'm talking about the critics right now. I'm talking about the social media people. I'm talking about the fucking stories that you. Sorry, I'm talking about the stories that you see on Facebook and all that crap. I actually tried, and this is another frustration of mine. I'm trying to do more TikTok. I guess that's a thing now, sure. A big thing. Which I always use Facebook, but I try to stay up to date with what the kids are doing.
I think my sister Amelia does it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's becoming big.
Seems like something she'd do.
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't. Anyway, I tried to do a comment on it over the week as a TikTok, and it deleted the goddamn clip. And I was like, well, fuck you, TikTok. And then I'm going to wait till Saturday and talk about it because it was a great clip, though, and I was upset. Anyway, look, here's the deal. The Flash is something that, honestly, I've never really seen before. It's an interesting situation of, I get where the hate comes from. I know, but I don't think that it's the movie. It's an overall commentary, I think, on DC and the direction that it's going and has been going. Not maybe where it is going, but and I said this last week. It did have its issues. It wasn't a perfect film. I mean, it was really good, and I still give it 9.5 out of 10 in terms of what the message was, the visuals, the cameos, the action sequences, the effects. Even though some, complained about the effects and how they looked, they were meant to look that way. I mean, you kind of know that, though. If you go see it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're like, well, that's clearly supposed to be distorted.
I don't think the quality of the film really matters because so many people already had their minds made up because of the whole state of the DC universe and Ezra Miller.
That is your trump card, and that was going to be my next point. I think Ezra Miller killed this movie. I really do. Because, the people that I did talk to about it, and I talked to very few people. I talked to you about it, obviously, Kush, and a couple other people, my dad, my brother. And the one thing, it's like, they would say if it wasn't for Ezra Miller and this. So whatever problem they had with the movie, they would add Ezra Miller to it. Because they did crazy shit. And,
there's a lot. They say he did an okay job acting or a good job acting, but it's just his baggage.
No, yeah, it had nothing to do with his acting or his role in the film. No. I'm not saying that. They're saying that because of his behavior outside of shooting, that has influenced people's taste on the movie. Now, in my opinion, that's a split. That's kind of a split, audience there, because in my opinion, he kind of stopped, right, and finished. Now, whatever consequence he needs to face for a crime he might have committed or done, he needs to do. And if he got off easy, then that's bullshit. I'll tell you right now. But as far as I know, he was at court. He served his time. He paid his fees. He paid his fines. I mean, what more could he have done to remediate the situation, except like maybe have that couple that he insulted like over onto the set and take a picture with him in the fucking Flash costume?
I don't know, man. Some people just don't,
That's what I'm saying. It's split, right? So some people can forgive that in light of the massive amount of weight this kid had on him. And I just want to reiterate that. And I've said that since day one. Mm-hmm. Okay? The massive amount of pressure that this kid had on him to hold this movie almost single-handedly because remember, we didn't really even know about Keaton at first. We knew that he was doing a Flash movie, but they didn't really know what direction they were going to go with the Batman character when the Flash was announced. So that's the Ezra Miller part. I think a lot of people are unfair and are being unfair because they did, and according to paparazzi, you don't see them engaged in that weird ass shit anymore. It was like a week by week basis, Christian. You remember that? And when it was like something new every week. And that just kind of stopped after the obvious outrage of that last one when he showed up at the house. So yeah, and it's just it's a sad situation because now you're hearing that this could potentially have killed other movies that were in consideration, including a Batman Beyond film with Keaton as an elderly Batman. Sasha Calle's future is now in question because of the movie, even though she delivered an amazing performance, and a performance, as you can go ask fucking Melissa Benoist, is not easy to pull off. That's a hard.
I wonder about Aquaman 2 or whatever it is.
I don't know. I mean,
can bring out people.
The issue is, and of course, the writer's strike.
I don't think the
DC
universe pre-Gunn is going to have much drawing power.
I mean, the problem is, I think there was some confusion too. There was definitely. I mean, I had confusion in the movie because I was like, well, wait, is the Snyderverse over or is it not? Yeah. Because a lot of characters carried on.
And it wasn't satisfying or clear.
I didn't care. It was like, because it doesn't matter because there is no fucking Snyderverse. So what does it matter where they land? I mean, who cares, right? Because they're just in there to enrich the upcoming stories. Which they did.
Like, how much does a movie have to matter? I mean, be worth watching.
It's a shame. It's a fucking shame. I'll say that. It's a damn shame. I feel bad for the people that worked on this movie. I feel bad for the people that starred in this movie and just gave incredible performances. And the concept and Andy Muschietti having the balls to kind of make those decisions, those crazy ass cameo decisions that I'm sure not everybody was like, oh man, that's awesome. You should do that. That'll be easy. No. I mean, he did a lot of stuff that came out of left field for me, and I got to give him props for that. I mean,
is that next story about him and the director's cut?
Yeah, we're going. Yeah. We'll when we get into the news, we'll kind of go over the stories that.
Okay, this is
my opinion part. Yeah, and then you're welcome to have your
weekly rant, huh?
Well, people like it. I don't know.
It's no Jeepers Creepers, huh?
Wes tried to get me started on that shit yesterday. Did you see that on the chat? He tried to get me going. Please don't bring up Jeepers Creepers. I don't even want to talk about it. Just like I don't want to talk about Tom Cruise or Top Gun Maverick.
We'll get your spiel out about the
All
Flash.
Right. You know, my spiel is this: is that, you know, a lot of people. This movie didn't even have legs yet, right? And they're already bashing it. Again, it goes back to what I said before. Yeah. Warner Brothers does not back up their movies. They don't back up their actors. They don't back up their storylines. They don't back up their creators, and they don't back up their fucking directors. I said that last week. Yeah,
it was kind of mismanaged there.
So, you know, this is such a larger issue than The Flash. And my issue is, because it's such a larger issue than one movie, to blame this movie and to make those actors feel that way, like what they accomplished wasn't a great thing. And it was a great thing. They did something that's never been done before in comic book film history. They brought an infinite universe together and showed it to you in a way that you've never seen on a screen before. But we don't care about that. We'd rather bitch about the fact that Ezra Miller's a psycho, or that, you know, the Snyderverse was canceled, or Ben Affleck wasn't in it enough, or George Clooney showed up at the end and it wasn't Keaton, or whatever the hell. What?
Kilmer.
What the hell Val Kilmer going to do? Just stand there? He can't talk.
Batman. Batman doesn't have to talk.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, the point is that, you know, I saw nothing that had any kind of bearing on any kind of review that would suggest it was a bad movie. It was other bullshit they pointed to, right? Yeah. That's my beef. Is that, you know, and if you watch the movie, it is a good movie. And what you're talking about, Christian, the actual comic book readers that went and saw it, that actually paid the money and went and saw it, not these little assholes that don't know anything about anything, that are influencers or whatever. Horseshit. No, it was a good movie and it had good performances. And yes, Ezra Miller is a psychopath, but do you know how many psychopaths have been movie stars? Mickey Rourke, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, I could go on all day.
Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon himself.
Dude, no one is clean in Hollywood. No one.
No one.
All right.
I heard about this Weinstein fellow.
Thank you. I mean, so yeah, it's like, does that mean I stop watching Pulp Fiction because he produced it? No, that'd be insane. It's a good movie. I think you get my point.
Yeah, the separate the art from the artist kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like you can't fault these incredible artists for a couple of mistakes, big or small, that a few people make. And I'm so tired of it. And it's the same shit with Aquaman and Amber Heard. It's the same thing. It'll fuck that movie. You know, any chance that movie has to be successful, because that'll be all the steam leading up to it. Just like with Miller. Anyway, that's my opinion. I think you're wrong. If you didn't like this movie and you actually went and saw it, that's the important part. Not just read about what happened, but actually went and saw the movie. I think you're wrong. And we can disagree, and that's okay. But there was nothing. That movie was not that bad. I mean, it was. For all the hate and the blame it's getting, like the first story. Let's get into the news. Let's go ahead. The first story that we have here is about how the Flash represents a bigger problem for DC Comics and for Warner Brothers. And if you read into the story, it's the fact that they don't back their movies up. They don't get behind them. They don't support the actors. They don't support the filmmakers. They don't support anyone involved in the process. They just support them if they get their box office receipt, the number they want.
Well, I think it was more about them not, taking the legs out from underneath them, saying that, it's ending. None of this is going to matter since Gunn's taking over and changing.
So? What does that matter? What does that have to do with the movie, Christian? What does that have to do with anything in that movie?
People are used to seeing comic book movies that interconnect and mean something. and the people that were disappointed.
How
after watching
how did it
Black
not
Adam,
interconnected mean something? I mean, that's my question to you. It interconnected everything that's happened in the DC universe over the last 50 years on TV and screen.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter after James Gunn's going to take over.
Why do you say that? Why are people saying that? I don't understand that. Why does the fact that The Flash did these things as a film have anything to do with what James Gunn's going to do moving forward?
Because when James Gunn said Henry Cavill isn't Superman, people were like, okay, I guess none of this DC stuff coming out is going to matter until Gunn gets his
That's
spin-off.
crazy. What the hell does that even mean? Because one actor got changed out of a role? You're going to just disregard
they're changing the entire thing.
Because it was not doing anything. It was on its ass. The only way people would watch it is with internet campaigns for Zack Snyder to make a goddamn 6-hour-long movie that would satisfy these people, and they still fucking hated it.
Exactly.
So you're telling me if you're Warner Brothers, you're just going to keep on doing that shit?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying you shouldn't announce that James Gunn is taking over, and they should never announce that Henry Cavill's not going to be Superman.
So that's your problem. Is Henry Cavill is not Superman?
That's
your only thing you keep going back to is that Henry Cavill's Superman. That's
because apparently you're having a hard time understanding that the Marvel audience wants interconnected stuff that matters.
I don't give a shit what the Marvel audience wants. This wasn't a Marvel movie. And if you went into it thinking it was going to be a Marvel movie, then that's your fault.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying before DCU was connected, and then James Gunn got hired, and they said, okay. I mean, read the article.
But he has everything that Snyder had in his movie, in The Flash.
James Gunn hasn't made a movie yet.
Okay, fine. We're talking about two different things. We're talking about The Flash versus DC as a whole. Okay?
No, The Flash is part of DC.
It is a part of DC, but it's not. It represents the bigger problem, and that's what this story's saying. Is that it's so much more than one movie, or one character, or one universe, or one director.
I know it says
James Gunn and Zack Snyder, they're small fucking pieces in this massive train wreck that is DCU. They don't get the characters.
How about this? Maybe you'll understand it with this example. If Marvel said Kevin Feige is out and James Gunn is in, but they still had 3 movies already coming out, and somebody was like, we're starting everything over. This is a reboot for everything. None of this is going to be what you think it is. You think the same people would see those movies, those last movies? Or would they just be like, fuck it, I'm waiting until the things that matter come out?
No. Why? Why do that?
Well, look at the box office.
Who gives a fuck? I'm talking about from a fan. I'm talking about from a fan point of view. I haven't even gotten into the box office of The Flash.
Well, clearly there aren't enough of you comic book fans that came out and saw it.
No, because of this bullshit that you see on the internet, bashing it, saying it's the worst DC film ever made. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know what the hell you're seeing.
I
have seen nothing but hate for this movie on my Facebook feed since it dropped. Matter of fact, a couple days before it dropped. And I have not, I'll be honest, if I had seen any positive on this film, I don't remember it this week. Now, that could be a lot of different reasons for that.
I saw mixed reviews.
Okay, again, algorithms and shit, I'm not going to try to defend that, I
said, I think it was Ezra Miller and the fact that James Gunn and them said nothing matters anymore. I think that took away a lot of people.
I don't think he said that, and I don't think that's his intent, though.
What impression do you get of Henry Cavill as out as Superman after being teased in Black Adam?
The fact that Black Adam fell on its fucking ass, the fact that
fans.
The Justice League film fell on its ass, the fact that Batman vs Superman fell on its ass. I mean, all these movies that Cavill was in fell on its ass. So because he looks like a fucking good Superman, we're supposed to just deal with it?
That's got nothing to do with why he's out, dude.
And there you go. It has nothing to do with why he's out.
No,
he's out because the vision
of
that
him
Zack
changing
Snyder
the
had
thing.
is different than the vision that James Gunn had. That doesn't make it better or worse.
Go Google.
I'm not
James
Googling
Gunn
shit because I don't need to.
The end of the DCEU. It's ending, dude. It's over.
It's not ending. You're talking about the Snyder shit. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's what the Flash was. It's part of the DCEU.
Again, it was a DC film, period. I don't look at it in those terms.
No.
Well,
You're the one that taught me about the DCEU. That is ending. And now it's going to be the DCEU.
The Snyderverse is ending.
James Gunn.
The Snyderverse is ending. The DCU will go on in film form under James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Yeah, it's the DC. Right now, it's the DCEU. It hasn't changed to DCU. We had that story last week about Blue Beetle being the first DCU character.
So you're telling me that people's issue is that The Flash is considered a DCEU movie or Snyderverse movie or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then the issue is that because you're not going to potentially, which is not even fucking true, by the way, because you are potentially not going to see these characters in these roles anymore, that movie doesn't matter?
Exactly.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Well, the ticket goers
I think you're wrong.
Apparently, well, I think it was whatever, dude. I mean,
that's
ticket
fine.
prices. Black Adam made more money. The Rock brought out more money.
Did it get better marketing, Christian? Did it get a better marketing campaign than The Flash? Hell yes, it did. You saw Dwayne Johnson out on everything. How often did you see Ezra Miller promote the movie?
Why is that?
Because he's a fucking psycho, and I copped to that. I said that. He is a psycho, and it suffered because of it. But I'm saying it unrightfully suffered because of it, because it's a good fucking movie. It has a good fucking message. It ties everything that's happened in the DC universe together, not just the Snyder shit. Okay? Can we agree on that? It brought up stuff that Burton did, that Donner did, that fucking Adam West did. I mean, this is everything. So to say that it is strictly a fucking Snyderverse movie, I think is total bullshit.
Well, it's in the current Snyderverse. I mean, just because it's a multiverse
according
of
to
everything
you
else,
and these other fuckers.
That's like saying the Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire and all three of them isn't an MCU film. You're ridiculous.
Well, they're not. They're Sony films. It was a different formula and a different time.
No, it had Doctor Strange in it.
Okay, are you talking about the latest Far From Home film, or are you talking about Tobey Maguire like fucking Sam Raimi?
Yeah, that's
movies?
why I said the other Spider-Man.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Sam Raimi trilogy. So what was your comment regarding that?
That it had things from other universes. And it's still an MCU film. So having things from other universes doesn't change that it's a DCEU film and the end of the Snyderverse.
I don't agree. Again, that's thin, if anything. That's thin as fuck. If anything, you got a fucking veil. We're going to talk about this all day. We got to move on.
I don't think you read the article, dude. Because it doesn't say anything about bad reviews.
I wasn't referring just to this article. I was talking about it as a whole. I was talking about the overall impression that I've seen through social media and through news stories, including Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, Entertainment Tonight, and all the big boys.
Yeah.
I did not see any positive press for this movie.
But you didn't see anything where it talked about Gunn's new universe and people not wanting to see the end of this universe? Because it's right in that article.
I mean, again, that article I brought up because it was in that article and mentioned in that article. Is that The Flash is getting the rap for the problems that DC Comics as a whole, let me make sure I fucking reiterate that, has. And it's not just The Flash.
The Flash is the second of 4 mega-budgeted DC adaptations the studio is set to release this year, starting with Shazam, Blue Beetle, Aquaman. Yet these movies were conceived and greenlit by an executive team that all have departed their studio. In their place, new studio chiefs have announced they will reboot the DC franchise in 2025, starting with Gunn's Superman Legacy. That's left Warner's in one of the worst rock and a hard place conundrums in memory. Its 2023 slate of DC films are now orphans in a moribund cinematic universe, but the studio still needs an audience to see them on a blockbuster scale.
Horseshit.
Audiences don't, this guy's a quote, audiences don't feel like they have to invest 2 hours of their time of their life because it's not going to matter going forward. God, dude. Read the article.
You could say that about any fucking movie, Christian.
Well,
couldn't
yeah,
you? You can say about any. Why would I go see fucking The Perfect Storm and sit through 2.5 hours? Because I'll never be a fucking sword fisherman. Fuck you. Horseshit. This is bullshit. This is all this is. This is fucking noise is what this is.
Dude,
it's not about the movie. It's fucking other political shit. This is bullshit.
Family, every MCU film says, when are we seeing it?
What?
Nobody said anything about seeing this one because it doesn't matter.
Again, why does everything have to have like a 10-year plan? Explain that to me.
I don't know.
So are you telling me, let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Let's say Sony said, we're going to make Spider-Man 4 starring Tobey Maguire. Okay? And somehow they get rights and they're able to do that. And it's completely different from what they're doing over at Marvel. Okay?
Well, Spider-Man can outdraw Flash.
Oh, okay. So now it's the characters that are drawing, right? It's
that was your argument when I said The Rock could outdraw the Flash. You said the Flash is the best character. Not like that exactly, but you argued
not
the
like
Flash
that exactly.
You argued the character of the Flash could
I
outdraw
argued
the Rock.
that the
Just
character
like
of the
I'm
Flash
arguing
is
the
more
character
well known
Spider-Man
than
can
Black
outdraw
Adam.
Flash.
And you're saying that the Flash and Spider-Man are not as well known against each other, right?
I'm saying Spider-Man can carry a movie and the Flash can't.
And why is that?
Because it's a proven track record.
No. Why can't it carry it?
Oh, I don't know. They haven't made a good enough Flash movie yet.
They haven't made a good enough one yet. Have you seen it yet?
I'm just telling you what the box office says.
Exactly. End of story. You're telling me what the box office says.
Hey,
I'm talking about, and I have been talking about, but if you don't back them up, Christian, it's a part of a major big process. You don't just put a fucking movie out and go, okay, come on, please get there. You have to stand behind it. It was horrible marketing. There was no trailer for it. There was nothing. They did not do a press run. No one talked about it. It had nothing but organic flow of popularity to get people to see it.
So you disagree with their marketing decisions?
Hell yes. Hell yes.
I don't know, dude. I've seen it promoted a lot, just not by Ezra, but they had Supergirl. She had posts and all kinds of stuff.
On what?
Instagram. Did you not see her suit photo going viral?
Not everyone is in Instagram, Christian.
No, they posted it on Facebook.
Sometimes
I'm not on Instagram, dude.
Be out there on press tours and doing interviews. And now I hear, and I have this as a story later on.
Dude, I think you're grasping for straws because you're mad that the Flash failed.
No, I don't care if a movie fails or not, personally. That should be well known by now. I make my own opinions over how I feel about movies. Whether they fail or not, I don't give a fuck. And that's not what this is about. So if that's what you think this is about, then we're arguing on two totally different planes. This is not about the money. I don't care about the money. I like fucking Batman and Robin. I like fucking, movies that didn't even make their fucking production back.
Sure. But I thought this was a discussion about why the Flash didn't make money.
This was a discussion about why the Flash is getting all the hate that it's getting. That's where I was coming from. So if we got disconnected in the middle, I'm sorry, but that's the point I was making. Is not so much how it failed, but why.
Like that's what I said.
Well, and you don't think that the outside influences of that film had anything to do with it failing?
I said that. I said Ezra Miller and the people that with James Gunn and them saying that none of this.
See, I don't think that has as much to do with it as you think.
That's what Variety, the magazine, said. So
I can see that, but I don't agree, and I don't have to agree.
No, you don't.
No.
I mean, it's funny. People can just be wrong and excited about it.
Well, I mean, wrong is a strong word because at the end of the day,
wrong.
I mean, we're talking about people's opinions, and I don't see how you can be right or wrong on opinions. But
if
whatever.
critics saying a movie good or bad,
dude, if I went with what critics say, I'd never see fucking anything.
Yeah, so why do you think the critics had such a big effect on the box office?
I don't think it was critics, dude. Again,
that's what you were saying about the hate from the critics.
Hate from everyone, from the entire fucking internet.
Earlier you said the critics when I said that I saw a lot of good things people said about it in the comments section.
Dude, you are a master at going into conversations, finding little snippets of what people say, and then coming back after a discussion of 20, 30 minutes and being like, well, but you said this. I mean, the conversation has changed since then.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has. I fucking will. And I, I don't really give a fuck. Look, if you're watching this show or listening to this show, you can agree with him or you can agree with me. We're still best friends. This is nothing abnormal. We go at it like this because we're passionate. He's passionate about his point. I'm passionate about my point. We don't agree with each other's points. And he's more of a guy that goes to, hard data or whatever and box office receipts and returns and what have you.
I like the fact.
I think there's a lot more involved than just numbers. So that is what you are going to decide in watching and listening to this show.
I don't really have a point. I just like busting your balls.
I know you do, and I know you are, and that's why I let it go because there's still nothing but love. But people like to see me get fired up.
We're making money from the Flash.
No,
maybe if you had made the Flash.
I mean, again, that just means more canceled Batgirls, right? More fucking canceled shows, more fucking more stuff, no Batman Beyond, nothing that could have been something because of something that didn't even fucking matter. Which is your point a lot. What about Batgirl?
I don't know, dude. I don't, all these things you say that could have been coming out. I don't think they were coming out with James Gunn.
Dude, I've seen 5 or 6 stories.
Yeah, rumors.
Dude, everything we're talking about when we're on the show is a rumor.
Well, not the Flash's box office receipts.
Again, you're going back to your hard data, and I'm talking about something more.
Sure.
So, and at the end of the day, you might be right. I don't know. All right.
Well, I was just telling you that I like you said, I think a lot of people really feel like it doesn't matter after having Henry Cavill.
Nonsense.
The rug pulled out from under him.
Nonsense.
Did you know they shot a scene with
Who gives a shit?
Gal Gadot at the end of The Flash?
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah. So it's like they could have let that in. They should never have announced that Henry Cavill was leaving. But Gunn had to upset the universe, and that's how I think it was mismanaged.
Okay, fine.
I don't think it was the.
So it's all because the Snyderverse got canceled because it was doing so well. Because Snyderverse was on a fucking roll, right? I mean, Wonder Woman 1984, forget about it. I mean, that was fucking gold, right? And Black Adam, oh my God, I love it.
What does that have to do with announcing
Shazam, Fury of the Gods? Oh, yeah. For sure.
Again, these are, DCEU films.
Justice League, the fucking, what should have been the greatest movie ever. Oh, yeah. Snyderverse.
Yeah, they should have quit making these movies a long time ago.
So what do you suggest they do then? Nothing?
What they're gonna do, they're gonna reboot it. And
so now you're saying the reboot makes sense because they weren't making money, Christian?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
So why did you expect
I'm done with this. Forget it. I'm done with this. We hear that the Flash director's cut is over 4 hours long. Again, probably something we won't be able to fucking see, because of everybody ruining everything. I guess the Flash stars Sasha Callie had a situation with Leslie Grace and got some advice from her on playing Supergirl. So that's pretty cool. Leslie Grace, I hate that they didn't make her fucking movie. It's so sad. Because I really feel like it would have, and we have some stills that we picked up from the abandoned Batgirl film that was also fucked.
Well, I like
unjustly.
how I mentioned how Leslie said this was a much harder. Sasha said that for Leslie, she went through a much harder experience with everything.
For real. I mean, and I would imagine there has to be some bonding even over. I mean, like even. I don't know, man. This is a messy situation, and it's causing this kind of friction between people. It is this whole DC question and answer, and why is this happening? Why is that happening? I do feel for some of the actors and actresses. I mean, because they're caught in the middle, and some of it's not their fault. Some of it is. You definitely can't say Ezra Miller didn't have this coming, no matter how you feel. A slap in the face. I won't deny that. I mean, that's, if anything, it's shown that you can't act like a horse's ass and just keep going. But, I hope Sasha Callie, I loved her in the role. She's got the right look. I don't know, because, again, it's kind of going back to that whole Snyder deal and hit that vision of Supergirl, but I don't see why you couldn't simply transition her over to possibly maybe the new James Gunniverse or whatever. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. This was kind of funny.
That she was in another scene at the end of The Flash that wasn't used too.
Really? I mean, I hear, again, so the director's cut's 4 hours, so that's 2 extra hours of fucking footage.
Her and Michael Keaton were standing there at the end.
Cool.
That probably would have been better.
Probably. I mean, it would have made more sense for sure. I mean, it just. I think Clooney's cameo was for cameo's sake. I won't deny that. I think it started out as like this goofy rumor, and then it kind of started being like, well, what if that did happen? And then Clooney has always had this relationship with that role, that just was kind of comedical. And he said on...
He should have flashed that Batman Visa card or whatever it was.
The Bat card. The Batster card.
God, that was a bad movie.
Oh, man. That could be a deep dive omnibus for another episode. So, fresh off his cameo appearance in The Flash, DC Comics has given Nick Cage, I guess, his own comic book cover in the new World's Finest comic.
I just realized the belt has a C on it for Cage.
Cage, yeah.
Is that supposed to be an N, do you think?
I think that's supposed to be an N, yes. It's supposed to be an N on his chest. And he's got Batman's gauntlets, so I don't really know why he would need Batman's gauntlets if he's a Superman hero. But it's a pretty cool cover. You can see it now on our video screen. It's kind of like a
utility belt, too, huh?
It's kind of a mixture of both. Yeah, that's why it's like I don't even know if he's really flying, per se. He could just be standing there.
He's got the fan going on him.
Yeah, it's Nick Cage. It could be anything. He could be standing against a backdrop, for all we know.
He's in his basement.
That's a pretty cool cover, man. I tell you, I'm gonna try and nab that. It drops on September 19th. Just imagine if you got that shit signed by Cage at some point in your life.
It looks better than those other covers we got in the news.
They're Frank Miller covers, so
yeah,
you either love them or hate them. You either love them or hate. I mean, the Dark Knight Returns was drawn the same way.
Is he really old? I was like,
no, that's just. That's just his style, I mean,
it hurts to hold a pencil, dude.
He needs one of those holder things we had in kindergarten.
It's like trying to draw on a stylus, you know?
There's no tip. It's just a big fucking...
Like when you have to sign your name on the credit card machine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Well, now we're hearing rumors, according to the woman herself, that Gal Gadot may return as Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. Which, again, is another fucking scratching your head going, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on here?
We're going to erase Wonder Woman 1984.
I assume that's, you'd have to do. I mean, you'd almost have to, at this point. But we'll keep you updated on whether Gail returns to the role. As Christian mentioned, she filmed quite a lot in Flash.
I don't know how to say her last name. I was watching something that somebody was calling her Gadot.
No, I don't think it's Gadot.
I hope it's not.
Who said it was Gadot?
I've
never heard it pronounced that way.
Dude. I thought it was weird.
I'm pretty sure it's Gadot. I'm pretty sure her directors have introduced her as Gal Gadot. So
that sounds better to me.
I like that
Bardo.
Better. Yeah, Bardo. We did see some screen grabs from the abandoned Batgirl film that featured Leslie Grace's Batgirl and Michael Keaton's Batman standing together in what appears to be a bell tower type place. It was funny because
they need to leak it. Leak the film.
I really don't know how it's not done already. So the first thing that cracked me up about this photo was that first comment. Can you see that, Christian? What the comment says?
The laptop.
Which, if you look, it's clearly just a background of the 1989 film for inspiration for what the film they're filming for the current movie, but somebody seems to think that the screens on the top are the movie. Is that how you're reading that comment?
I don't know. I thought they thought maybe, I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, oh, I guess
they think it's the same movie. They think it's and
I thought maybe the laptop was from the Batman movie. Like maybe you saw him using that laptop. Back in 1989, we had those nice laptops.
Did he go back to the future? Did he fucking go forward in time and grab some shit and come back?
He invented them, dude. It's a back.
There's even a joke where he's using some kind of analog device and they phase through a wall instead of breaking into a place. It's like a joke that he's got all this old gear. So, in addition to the issues that Warner Brothers Discovery is having with DC, it's also now being reported that they are negotiating $500 million worth of film and TV music publishing assets to sell off to cover the massive losses the company is suffering right now. Not just because of Flash.
I think it said they have like a $50 billion debt.
Yeah. Yeah, and so what they're trying to do now, and what a lot of companies are trying to do now, as I understand it, is they're trying to do the tax write-offs now. So anything that's not fully going, they just slice so they can take the tax write-off and make the money back. This is different.
It also said the value of this movie the value of this music was going down. So they were trying.
I saw that. Yeah, so they're trying to move it before it starts going down. But particularly why I brought this up is because I guess some of Danny Elfman's Batman music is included in that catalog, in addition to stuff that Prince did, Evita, Rent, Casablanca. There's a lot of really popular, or used to be popular, music in this catalog that could, potentially pull Warner Brothers a little bit out of the hole. So we'll see if anybody bites.
These billionaires and their problems.
Take a little chip off. I know.
We don't have the Titanic story on here. Talk about that big billionaire implosion, dude. And then people
Let me tell you something. You come to me and ask me to pay you $250,000 to go to the bottom of the fucking ocean in an empty propane tank with a couple of C clamps and a fucking, muffler hose. I'm gonna tell you to fuck off.
Man, it's just living, dog.
It ain't living though. It certainly ain't living because you're gonna die.
We all take risks. He knew the risks.
I love how that's the company's stance. Did you see this now? It's like, when you're an adventurer, you got to take those risks.
Be courageous. It's like going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, dude. You gotta break the ground. I like how even James Cameron was talking about. He's like, they didn't learn the lessons of the Titanic.
Yeah, and then Ocean Gate got mad at him. Oh, this whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, listen, honestly, I'll pause it real quick. Loss of life is terrible anytime.
Sure.
Of course.
But they were talking about all the migrants dying in boats that don't get covered.
But I mean, when you think about the situation, I mean, it's the same thing with people that go in these private rockets to space. One of those motherfuckers is going to blow up eventually. It's going to happen. No, I mean with people in it. I mean like with some of the paying patrons in it. I don't mean like they're test rockets. I'm talking about
one guy wanted to prove the Earth was flat, and crashed and died.
God have mercy. I mean, it's a crazy world, man, and there's way too much fucking money. And it's just like, and I love. Did you make this point to me that it's now brought up more the fact that the middle class is so fucking angered at the higher class that the fact that people died doesn't matter. The fact they were able to do it is what is pissing people off.
Oh, I don't think so, but I saw people saying that, like, oh, why are they so quick to get mad at them for being billionaires?
Oh, feeling bad for them. Gotcha.
Like, no, making fun of them.
My understanding is that in early June, the union reps for the writers, along with the Directors Guild, who I guess are the main players in the writer strike out in Hollywood, did come to an agreement that was ratified. So I think we're on our way to the end of the writer's strike. However,
oh really? That's cool.
According, I don't know if it was this article or another article, but the problem is that because they have lost so much money in the writer's strike, Marvel, Netflix, Sony, HBO, and Universal Studios are all going to skip the San Diego Comic-Con. This is crazy to me. I mean, that's who the fuck else is there? Do you know?
That's kind of like the games leaving the game cons or whatever, remember?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what the hell are you going to do then? It's like, then it's just another con, it's just another like Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But it used to be like a jumping off point for what was going to make the most money that year.
Everybody's going the way of Nintendo, dude. Nintendo just does a internet direct video to everybody.
Dude, it's a crazy time for anyone on any podcast anywhere or any medium for that matter to say they have any clue about what the future holds for what's going to happen here. They're insane, because this is unprecedented what we're seeing in the state of entertainment these days. We are running short on time, so we may speed it up a little bit here to get through. What do you think about Karen Gillan as Poison Ivy, Christian? You think you go see that?
Oh yeah, I love that. She's not bad looking.
I mean,
in Jumanji.
She's got red hair and she's very attractive, so I don't see why you couldn't make her Poison Ivy. No, I guess there was some whispers that perhaps Poison Ivy was.
Oh
being
yeah,
discussed.
plus with James Gunn and her relationship from being in the Guardian films.
Right, because there was discussion, I guess, at one point that Gunn may include some version of Dr. Pamela Isley or Poison Ivy from the books. So what are you making that face for?
Because I just thought of somebody else James Gunn could bring back from Guardians.
Please don't. No, I don't want Bitch Tista back in the.
Oh yeah, DCEU. Dude, he's gonna be Clayface.
Oh, Bitch Tista, stay away from me.
He could be Bane, dude.
Stay away. That might fit. What's going on here? Oh, now it's not even going to show the covers we were talking about. All right, we'll look at Daredevil's first. So Frank Miller.
That one wasn't as bad, I don't think.
I knew you'd say that. Frank Miller, because he's
I
drawn
used
Daredevil
Jesse,
before.
and Jesse was like, it kind of looks like that other face down there. Like, you know how the other examples of Frank Miller's work?
Yes, I do. That's what I was going to say. He does Daredevil better because he actually used to do fucking Daredevil. So, I mean,
cool.
It's probably a little bit easier for him to draw Daredevil than it is fucking Cap. Cap looks like a fucking one of the reporters from the Dark Knight Returns graphic
I was
novel.
going to say it looks like a goon or something.
Oh, I'm so glad I put those in here because I saw those and I'm like, I'll bet those would be really funny to talk about because they do look kind of goofy. But they're classic Frank Miller. I can't get the goddamn Captain America one to pull up. Shit.
Guess they'll have to check it out on our Facebook page.
I shared it to the Facebook page. I'll try and come back to it here in a bit. Secret Invasion's AI opening. Do you know about this, Christian? What is the problem? What's the issue?
Well, it sounds like they made a creative decision to have an AI program help design the intro graphics because, having AI kind of do it is kind of like the Skrulls doing human stuff. But at a time when the writers are fighting over AI writing their, taking their jobs, it's not a good timing.
Okay. So I see. That makes a little bit more sense. And I'm kind of embarrassed I didn't think of that. Okay. So, yeah. So the fact that
because you know about all the crazy AI stuff.
Right. So that makes... I didn't think of it from that position.
Did you watch that AI-created Family Guy video I sent you?
Yeah, we watched it together. Remember, he was screaming.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I could hear him screaming from my second floor on the third floor.
They also have AI-created streams of, like, a SpongeBob show. It's crazy. I was watching one of the SpongeBob ones, and they just had Squidward going, sniffs cocaine, sniffs cocaine, sniffs cocaine, sniffs cocaine. I mean,
oh, man.
And thousands of people can watch it, dude. And it's just like, yeah, so no jobs for those people.
It's a damn shame. All right. We do have some stories, but we're going to kind of move real quick through them. I know that Bad Bunny...
Lightning round, dude. Lightning round.
Bad Bunny has departed El Muerto.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I guess they're still going to make it. No, Sony says they're still going to make it.
Well, of course they were going to.
Sony. Yeah, this is a Sony deal, yeah.
That's Sony milking that spider milk, dude.
That's the show title. Milking that spider milk. I love it. It's just sad because he kind of championed that movie, so kind of.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. I wonder why he left.
Well, if we find out, we'll let people know. There were tons of rumors with Deadpool 3 casting this week, including several variations of Deadpool, including female Deadpool and other variants of Wolverine.
Yeah, some tweets went out.
There was also a rumor at one point that Ben Affleck may end up reprising his Daredevil role to appear in the film, which I'd be fine with. I'd be like, that's pretty cool.
I still need to watch the Daredevil director's cut.
It's the best one. Did you see the Kraven shit? Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah, I watched that trailer. It looked cool.
It looked okay. They're going kind of a different direction than the comics, and
he's doing a lot of stabbing with that. It looked like a velociraptor's toe.
Yeah, go at you with this.
Yeah, Alan.
Yeah, Alan.
Wake up. And then at least they got the mane on him, dude. I saw the mane.
Yeah, here I've got that here. The poster shows the mane nice and full. I don't see eyes, but maybe they're like tucked in.
There's something about his eyes in that picture.
Well, they're animal eyes.
Looking into my soul, dude. Animal eyes.
So we may have.
I watched Studio 666 this week.
How was that?
The Foo Fighters horror movie.
Yeah. How was that?
I mean, it's not the best movie, but it was a lot of fun.
That's what I've heard from everybody. It's like, it's not going to win any Oscars, but it was fun for what it was,
Yeah, dude, they're just such goofy guys.
What did that drop on? I did see that on Showtime.
Oh, I don't know. I bought it on iTunes a while
We
ago.
finished Yellow Jackets last night. I totally forgot to tell you this. We are completely caught up now, so we'll have to maybe do that on a separate show. But the Rey Skywalker movie that's supposed to be coming our way has reportedly got a title and shooting date.
That title's going to make a lot of people mad.
I know it is. That's the first thing I said, too. The supposed title is Star Wars New Jedi Order.
Same as the books.
Lazy booking.
The same as the books that
I'm gonna be
canceled.
like, yeah, I'm going to be like Jim Cornette, my buddy, my hero. Lazy booking is what we're going to call that. As far as the filming dates start, they are saying that April 2024, barring that everything works out with the settlement of the writer's strike, of course. All our best to Tommy Dreamer. I did want to mention this. The poor guy has now been diagnosed with skin cancer for a third time, Christian. And
it sounds bad. He talks about getting it removed and everything.
Yeah, it's if you read the story.
He says it's on his head. It's not in this picture. It sounds like he's scary looking.
Well, it's apparently something that's been a serious problem, and Tommy Dreamer's just in my eyes. First of all, he's a really nice guy. If you ever get to meet him, I mean, he's really nice, and he loves.
I like
fans.
how he says, "I've had skin cancer. Of course, it's on my head, but I'm not a pretty boy anymore. I'm hardcore."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's tough as son bitch. One of the toughest son bitch out there. But anyway, best wishes to Tommy for a quick recovery. Johnny TV returned to AEW, Christian. Did you see that?
That's
AKA John Morrison, AKA Johnny Gargano, AKA fucking.
He's not Johnny Gargano.
Or whatever the hell he's been called over the past 10 years.
That says Johnny Drip Drip, dude.
That should have been his name. I think it would stab too much in WWE, though. It'd be too much of a stab. So, Batman, the Arkham trilogy is coming for the Nintendo Switch, Christian. Maybe you'll get to play them through and beat them all.
I have mostly on PC.
Good. All right, good.
I played them a few summers back.
Did you watch the trailer for Deathlock?
No, I didn't want to spoil anything.
I didn't either. I didn't watch it either. Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it either.
It's been about 10 years since they had the last installment.
I know, and we do have that on our Facebook. Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar movie trailer with some artwork available and some box art that just looks badass.
Cool. Yeah.
So that is available for you to check out on our Facebook page. Okay, finally, wanted to talk about this because it was kind of big. Paramount Plus has canceled these movies. Again, this goes back to what I was saying about the companies wanting to take tax breaks. They have canceled the Grease prequel series, Rise of the Pink Ladies. Doesn't really matter to us, but a lot of people were bummed. The animated Star Trek Prodigy series, the new rendition of The Game and its current season or new season, one or the other.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. At first, I thought it was the Michael Douglas film. They remade The Game? I love that movie. Which is what you just said. And Queen of the Universe, which I think is the drag show, right? I think is the drag.
I don't know. I thought maybe that one was The Game. I don't know.
I think it's The Game. It's like the like the Project Runway, but it's drag.
I thought it was gonna be like Hunger Games, and she just looks like one of those weird people from Hunger Games.
Welcome to the Hunger Games. All right. Got some other stories, but we don't have time for them. But everything is, as always, is shared through our Facebook page. So hop online, check them out. Let's hop over to events. Make sure we get this in before we wrap it up. We have new ACW action coming our way with Wrestlepalooza. This is going to be at the Putnam County Fair on Route 62 and Park Road in Eleanor, West Virginia, July 11th. We expect to see Al Snow and Shane Douglas in action, in addition to many of ACW's awesome stars. Again, there's a meet and greet 5 to 6 p.m. Showtime is 6 to 8. Don't miss it. ACW at the Putnam County Fair, July 11th. I keep bringing this one up, Christian, because this is where I come out of retirement. I went and bought my suit last night, even. So I'm ready to go. July 8th.
It's too sweet.
Too sweet.
I can't get high like that anymore. It's like, too sweet. Too
sweet.
'Cause I'm
Combat
big, dude. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Gosh, wasn't there somebody making that too sweet noise or the whistle or something last time we were at a show?
I don't
know. It was bugging me.
Something like, yeah, I remember it was bugging you. I remember that part. It is Combat Championship Wrestling's Red, White, and Bruised happening at the American Legion number 177 in Barbersville, right off US 60 there, Christian. Beautiful new building from what I'm told. Can't wait to check it out.
I still remember when we went and saw ECW and somebody called Just Incredible just a penis head.
Just a penis head. We were just like, what a strange insult.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that's one way to go, I guess.
Hey man, I never forgot it. It's quite the line.
Me neither.
Oh,
you're right.
It'd be funny if Just Incredible heard it too, and it's like, what a dick.
I'd love to hear that on an interview someday. I was in West Virginia one time, and somebody called me just a penis head.
Can you believe that?
What the hell does that even mean? The show is Saturday, July 8th. Tickets are available if you go online to Facebook at CCW for Fans is the name of that pre-sale page. A lot of great local talent on the card. A lot of my former 304 wrestling family is going to be associated, and fans are going to be associated with this.
What years was that? How
long
long
I did
ago
the 304?
Yeah.
Shit, we stopped.
How long has it been?
We stopped doing 304 when they closed the field house, so that's like 2010, maybe even earlier than that. But it's been a minute since I've done anything. Yeah, I haven't. Last match I announced was the retirement match for my former partner Billy Masters, who is a listener of the show. Billy, love you. So I am excited to get back in the ring. I am excited to see all my old friends and family and fans, and it's going to be a hell of a show. We hope you join us again July 8th. Doors are at 5, bell time 5:30, American Legion number 177, CCW's Red, White, and Bruised live, and your boy Zip's going to be there.
I hope you don't have any of that ring rust, dude. You need to get cleaned off.
I'll probably do a couple bounces off the ropes before I get my suit on, you know. Make sure I still got it. Make sure I still got knees. All right.
Be like Vince McMahon.
Blow my quads trying to get in the fucking ring. Next up is our friends over at Time Warp and ACW as part of the Bluegrass Wrestling Con 5 present Domination Saturday, October 7th at the Boyd County Community Center in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. Meet and greet from 12 to 4, and bell time is at 4 p.m. Front row tickets as low as $30, and you'll see famous names like Ron Simmons, Mark Henry, Jimmy Hart, Moose, Shane Douglas, Jerry the King Lawler, Mr. Hughes, and many, many more. You can get all the information when you log on to our Facebook page. And finally, we did have some new guest announcements from the Huntington Comic and Toy Convention. They haven't updated their website yet, but luckily I have it listed here. Excuse me. Probably the biggest addition to the crew this week was the announcement of actor John Barrowman, who you've probably seen in Arrow and Doctor Who.
Yeah. I saw him in Arrow.
Yeah, so he played Merlin in Arrow, if you remember the early seasons, and did a great job. So that's pretty cool.
He was in a couple other CD hero shows too.
Cool.
As that character.
Right. Legend of Tomorrow, I think he made a couple appearances in, right? Yeah. Also,
maybe a couple more.
We know we already have Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox. Now the actual captain of the Chips squad is going to be there. Robert Pine of Chips fame is going to be at the Huntington Comic and Toy Convention. And finally, Kyle Starks, comic creator who has worked on Peacemaker, I Hate This Place, and Rock Candy Mountain. So it's just shaping up to be a really great show. August 12th through the 13th. Tickets available now at huntingtoncomiccon.com. And that is all I've got. And Christian, you fucking wore me out today, man. Wore my ass out.
Oh, hey, man, maybe the fans will like it. It's some drama.
It's a work, just so everybody knows.
I'm going to shoot on you later, dude.
He knows it's a work.
That's on the Patreon. I'm going to tell it all about how
are you going to shoot on me on the Patreon?
That's right,
I would love to see that. If you want to do that for Patreon, I would make that happen.
Y'all don't know this about Ryan Superior, but I will tell you what.
I can't imagine what it could be because everybody knows everything about me. Christian, you got any other news or any other announcements for the folks?
Look at that. He likes toys.
Well, I like toys, but not the kind of toys you're thinking of.
Yeah.
No,
I think
I can
we
twist
set
shit
it off
around.
pretty good.
All right, cool.
Sound
For
like-
Christian,
sound like Kenny Powers. Turn that around. Flip that on you.
that's good shit. As always, we thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, support us through Podomatic, PODOMATAC.com/GeekZip podcast. Get us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. For Christian, this is Ryan Zip. Go see the fucking Flash.
And like, share, and subscribe.
Have a good week.
We love you.